Hello. I was a guest at the Quality Inn Suite in Tucson, Arizona, the one on Julian Street. Now, the place was so horrible that there's no words that would complete the experience that I had there. There's no words in um, my own vocabulary or the vocabulary in English that would justify what happened there. Now, if any of you guys are Monty Python fans, there's a series called The Flying Circus. And there's a few skits of a Hungarian translator book that's been translated wrong. So go on YouTube and type in Monty Python translator book, and you'll see what I mean. I think they pulled the word quality from that book. And just as an example, the background on my computer here is, you can see right here is a picture of my wife. My wife is sitting on the couch. Here's the clock that I guess we're supposed to use. I guess it's supposed to say 12:00, but half the digits are gone. And then here's the telephone with most of the buttons pulled out. And whoa, look at that! A genuine 1993 remote control for the genuine 1993 TV set that was there, which is analog. So, wow, holy cow, it's a CRT TV. I haven't seen one of those in forever, you know. So, there's a couple good things about Arizona, you know. It's 205 a gallon there. Like, oh my gosh, I had to take a picture because nobody would believe, because here it's like 279 a gallon here in California. So, yeah, it was like, we actually saw it for 199 in Phoenix. When we passed through Phoenix to go to Tucson, there was a few gas stations that advertised 199, but I didn't bother to pull off the freeway to you know to photo. So a few things were pretty bad. Like, I couldn't understand this. We made the reservation online, and we said we needed a disability room because my wife has a disability. So here, I'll play a video clip of my wife before her incident. Here's her, all happy and nice and alive, full of life, 30 years old, complete, normal woman. And then we find out she has a little thingy inside her head. And there's two views of it. Let me see if I can zoom in here. There's a dot. Doctor said this is a naughty. It's called a cavernous angioma. And they had to operate on it because it was hemorrhaging and bleeding and causing her to experience brain hemorrhages, which could kill her at any time. One brain hemorrhage is fatal. But she's had several upon several, and she survived through every single one. So she is by far the strongest woman I know. And here's a video of her right after her surgery. She cannot even pick up things. She's having problems. She's been going through therapy for over a year, and so this is her, I think, 3 weeks or 2 weeks after her surgery, and she's able to pick up things and move them with the aid of a therapist. And so when we say we need a disability room, we need a disability room. It's not like I just want a disability room just for the fun of it, so I have those handlebars in the shower. It's like, no, we need one because she can't even walk. And so they said, oh, sorry, we don't have those. And So I was like, what do you mean you don't have those? And this is after we were checking in. We were like, we got a room on the second floor. We need a disability room on the first floor. And they go, oh, sorry, we don't have those. So I was like, okay, it's on the second floor. There's a flight of stairs. And if I would have known we had a flight of stairs, I would have brought a slinky. Just like in this Ace Ventura film, where he puts a slinky down the flight of 10,000 stairs, because when you're disabled, those few stairs feel like 1,000. So, and to make the whole situation worse, my wife's walker doesn't even fit between the wall here and the piece of furniture right there. It doesn't. Let me scoot the video over a little bit. The walker doesn't even fit. So once you walk in the room, after going up the elevator, you are completely stuck. You cannot get the walker through there. And a walker is only 18 inches. So you're looking at a good 16 inches or 14 inches between the wall and that piece of furniture. Like, how dumb. And so I got a good clip here, because we were overly frustrated, because with my wife, with her walker, it's like, no, we don't have disability rooms, but if you're over 200 pounds, you can't get to the bed. Sorry, sir. It's like, holy cow, like, how dumb could this be? And my wife needs a walker. So every time my wife comes into the room, she has to leave the walker by the door, and then she has to hold on to the wall and slowly walk towards the bed. Or if I'm there, of course, I'll help her. So I just wanted to show that this is not a disability-friendly hotel. Not by a long shot. And to make things worse, this right here, the clock, and I don't know if you can see my mouse moving around there, but the telephone's missing all these numbers. Now, from the Monty Python translator book, I think that they meant to say that this is the Hillbilly Hotel, not the Quality Inn Suites. This is definitely the Hillbilly Inn. Because, like those jokes, you're a hillbilly when you have more lampposts in your front lawn than you do trees. You're, a hillbilly when you have a kitchen sink in the front yard, or you have a refrigerator, or chemicals, or you have bed frames. Oh, by the way, yes, it was so bad, I thought nobody would believe me. Now look at this. This is me walking to my room, and you can see right here, there's furniture in the hallway. There's furniture in front of that door. Like, what is this? Like it's a garage sale. And then it gets better. I want to pause the video over here. And I want to show you guys something here. Ooh, come on. Move. There we go. I'm pausing the video because right down there, I'm going to move it later for you. Right here's a refrigerator. And that's just chilling there on the first floor. And then we move over here. Look at that. All these bed frames. A kitchen sink. And there's a whole bunch of cushions and garbage and CRT monitors. Oh my gosh. Like right here. There's some CRT monitors. There's some lamp posts. There's some pieces and bits of furniture. There's these are lights. They look like fluorescent light fixtures. And this is a shower curtain rod. Like, how appealing. And my room is right here. So as soon as I walk out my room, this right here, behold, is what I see. And they try to tell me this is the Quality Inn. And so I was scratching my head trying to figure out what they're doing. And I can see most of those lamps look like they're from the 1960s. So, because I remember some of these being on like I Dream of Jeannie and stuff. So I know that a lot of these are probably from the 60s or 70s. So maybe they're doing a remodel. But if they're doing a remodel, why do they have them out so all your customers can see? Why don't you put those in an unused room, or like these chemicals? Like these are chemicals right here used either for bugs or for weeds. Why are they out for a child to play with, right? And some foam board. That foam board's cool, but I can let that go. But like, if you're doing a remodel, why isn't that stuff in the garbage, like the dumpster, or in an unused room? Because when I was walking to my room for the first time, I was like, no, this cannot be real. Did we go to the right place? And here's some more garbage. There's some cushions right here. It looks like an old Christmas tree of some sort. It looks like a wreath from Thanksgiving, that style. And then there's some milk crates stacked up, really appealing. There's some ducting, some plastic duct. There's some lampshades. There's a toilet seat. And there's it looks like some filters from like the AC unit. There's a round table, and then a bunch of stuff on top of the table. And it's like, oh yeah, and right over here, it looks like there's one crutch from someone that had crutches before. It's like, this is like the total ghetto, hillbilly, delight. And me being a city folk, if I saw this, I would fire my manager on the spot. Because, yeah, all this could be taken care of. And just to let you know, I stayed 4 nights here, and the pile got bigger and bigger every day. It was never moved. It was never cleaned up. So, and then it was, you can look it up. We were there from December, the night of December 23rd, and we checked out the 27th. So, and you can look it up. December 27th, 2014, it was 29 degrees in Tucson. And, where's that clip? I'm going through my videos here. Here is the front door while it's closed. It's not sealed at all. We had the heater on 80 degrees the whole time. And it was cold. We felt a draft the whole time. And we had to double up on our clothes. And it was rather skimpy on the blankets that they had in there. So, yeah, it was quite nice. Like, here's a picture of my Nissan covered in ice. Here's another picture of my Nissan covered in ice. And here's another picture of my Nissan covered in ice. Me being in California, I've never seen that before. Never seen ice form on a car before. Now, the first night I was there, my wife and I didn't bring any water because, we're from California, In Arizona, it's quite different. The atmosphere is very dry. Yeah, it's cold, but it's dry. So you get thirsty. And if you don't have a cup of water, you get rather thirsty. So my wife said, hey, husband, go to the lobby. They have a vending machine, and get me some bottled water. Sure. So I go there. And on the way there, this guy, he looks like he's homeless, came up to me and said, hey, sir, I have a problem with this electronic thingy-majigger. Can you help me with this? Like, no, I don't know anything about that stuff, And he kept pushing me to help him. And eventually, this guy was trying to rob me. Now, I live in California, and I've been held up, and I've been robbed. So I kind of know when somebody is going to say, hey, give me everything you have. So the guy looked like he appeared to be homeless. I don't believe he was a worker, because a worker would not be working at midnight. So it was either a guest, which I don't believe it, because he stank like he hasn't taken a shower in a week, unless his shower wasn't working. or he was homeless and somehow he got in. And so the gentleman was saying stuff like, "Oh, where do you come from? Why are you here? Who are you staying with?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm staying with my wife, and I just have $3 with me, so I can go get some water from the vending machine." And he goes, "What? You only have $3 on you?" And I said, "Yeah, that's it. I don't bring cash. I use my credit card for everything." And then he got disappointed and left. And well, before he left, he was like, "Are you sure that's all you have on you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I carry a big um, flashlight on my belt, and when my jacket's over it, it looks like I'm carrying a firearm. And I was like, "Well, I have this." And I said some words to him, and then that's when he kind of walked away, hopping and skipping in a fast-paced manner. So I disposed or defused that situation, which I figured, a nice hotel, I would not be put in that situation. The and Because it was 29 degrees, I showed you pictures of my Nissan, and my Nissan is 2009. So it was 5 years old, and I had the original battery. And when you have a battery for 5 years, that's usually about the end of its life. So, and I showed you a picture of my wife. I also have a 21-month-old daughter. So there's 2 lives I am responsible for. The day we check out is the 27th, and it was 29 degrees. I showed you a picture of the ice on my car. And the nature of the battery in my car, when it gets cold, sometimes they won't start the car because when they're cold, they have less output energy. So I tried to start my car, and my car would not start. So I was like, "Oh, okay. I will go inside and see if somebody will give me a jump." So I walk inside, and there's this young lady. She looks like she's maybe 22, 23. And she goes, "Oh, sure, sure. I got jumper cables in my car. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah," because she saw my wife and my child, and she's the one who checked us out. And has like the motherly instinct, the kind-hearted person who would say, "Sure, I will do it because, she's a human, I'm a human, and she understands that, oh my gosh, yeah, you and your wife and your child are outside in the cold. Of course, I'll give you a jump." And she was gracious enough to say, "Let me do it. Let me get someone to cover the front desk." So she goes in the back, and then and then a different girl comes out, and a taller girl, probably in her 30s, and says, "Oh, sorry, we cannot give you a jump. You, you know, you have to leave." And I was like, "What? It's 29 degrees outside. My wife and child could die." And they're like, and she says, "Well, you have to leave. We don't do that here. It's against our policy, and you have to leave the building." I was like, oh, I never had anybody do that before. So I was like, oh, I needed to absorb this. So I walked outside. And I was like, I've never been told this before. Because like in like severe weather conditions with a disabled wife and a 21